Hello and welcome to Proofpoint. This webinar is around security awareness training. It's Proofpoint Security Awareness Training, also sometimes referred to as PSAT, internally in Proofpoint at least. But this is security awareness training. And the agenda today will cover what is security awareness, what does Proofpoint do with security awareness, how does the market look like, who are the top players, what differentiates Proofpoint, questions to ask, and why should you work with Proofpoint? First of all, important to note, 99% of all attacks are caused by employees clicking on a link in an email or opening an attachment. What is security awareness and who is responsible? Usually what we see is there are three main pillars here. It's the phishing simulations, it's the trainings and the materials for enforcement, and it's the remediation part. Phishing simulations are usually covered, and the responsible team is usually within the CISOs. When it comes to the training part and the materials around this, it's usually HR, or if you have more specified and dedicated teams, it could be awareness teams within the organization. For the remediation part that takes care of when something happens, that's usually the SOC teams or incident responders. So, security awareness, how does Proofpoint do it? Well, first of all, we need to identify who is being attacked and evaluate their ability to protect themselves. And this is done in several different ways. It's through Proofpoint threat intelligence, it's through the cyber strength knowledge assessments, and it's with threats in phishing and USB campaigns. So we identify the risks, and with the simulated phishing alone is not enough data to understand your people-centric risk. And what that means is basically that we need to have an understanding on how we can change the behavior. And that is what we do through the various training modules and the security awareness materials that we can use for enforcement. We also have something called attack spotlight content, which is information and trainings that are and campaigns that are created based on what we see every day in real life. As an example, we can see over the past months now, we have seen an increase in phishing campaigns that originate and try and use COVID or Corona as lures. So then our threat intelligence is working along with the security awareness training team and create content based on that. And it's populated automatically into this platform. So we deliver training based on actual threats, user behavior, and the knowledge gaps that we see. And at the end, the aim is to do some kind of risk reduction. And how do we do that? Well, we have some solutions for that is built into this. It's the CLEAR solution, CLEAR, which stands for Closed Loop Email Analysis and Response. We have Phish Alarm, which is the reporting button within the email client. We have the Phish Alarm Analyzer, which uses various types of machine learning algorithms to analyze those emails that have been reported. And we have Threat Response Autopull, which is a sub-licensed version of the full threat response platform. And the main thing with this product is that, or this solution, I should say, is that it automatically reaches into the user's mailbox if it has been deemed malicious post-delivery, and pulls those emails out of the user mailbox and all related emails to that if it has been forwarded internally in the organization. So knowledgeable end users will report potential threats, potential phishing threats, which reduces the attack surface. And this is how we tie this together. Short note on CLEAR, as mentioned previously, closed loop email analysis and response. We can see here on this slide how the workflow looks like. So a user receives an email which they think is a potential phish. They click on the phish alarm button. The email gets sent away to the phish alarm analyzer, which also ties into our backend and uses other kind of threat intelligence in the backend. And there will be a verdict coming from this. And also the email, if it is quarantined, it gets sent to an abuse mailbox, which is monitored by TRAP in this case. And if this is an email that has been deemed to be malicious, it will be deleted and quarantined, and there will be feedback coming back to the user saying, thank you for reporting and helping the organization stay safe. So there is a full workflow in this. So all the way from the user reporting this, which they think is a phishing email, as an example, you have the threat intelligence. The intelligence and the engines behind will make its work and will give a verdict on this. TRAP will automatically reach in, quarantine any related email messages in this, and the user will get feedback that they have, either if it was good or bad, this email. So depending on what the outcome was, they will get different kinds of responses. But the important thing is that they actually get some kind of feedback, because that will strengthen the user's behavior and feeling. They will understand that they do something that is really helpful for the organization. If we look at this magic quadrant, we can see Proofpoint is up there in the magic quadrant. You might hear from two main competitors out there, and it's KnowBe4 and Cofense. These are the predominant ones that we are facing. Whenever you feel that kind of competition, you can always reach out to us, and we will give you more information and we will help you against that competition. So what differentiates Proofpoint? Well, first of all, Proofpoint, since we are also a gateway, we see almost 20% of all the email flow in the world, and that is not only consumer emails. This is enterprise emails, so corporate email that is flowing around. This is what we see. And our phish simulations, they come from real attacks that we simulate. So they look like they actually do in the real world. And the training is based on the gaps that you have in your defenses today, which is the people. Continuity in quality of the training and the translations in the number of how many languages we have and so on. And there is a constant development of the platform, and also a constant development of and monitoring of real-world attacks happening out there. So our threat intel is working alongside with the creators of the content for the security awareness platform. And the final thing here is that every training in the platform is customizable. It's fully customizable all the way from what kind of questions should be there to how the look and feel is there. You can use your own logos or images and so on. And you can create your own questions, or you can use existing ones and just modify them, or you can just use the predefined sets. But everything is customizable. So questions that are often asked by prospective customers. Can the training be done from our own LMS? So what is LMS? LMS is Learning Management System. And yes, we are SCORM compliant, so we can export the trainings into other platforms. In how many languages is the training available? It's more than 35 languages. Do you also have gamification in the platform? Yes, we have, and more will come because the platform is constantly developing based on the needs. Is this a cloud solution? Yes, it is a full cloud solution. Where are your data centers located? They are based in the US, in EMEA, and in APAC. How long does a training take? That depends a little bit, but usually the trainings are very short and concise, and you get immediate feedback for each and every question and each and every training that you go through. But usually between 5, 10, 15 minutes. And how often do you do a training? Well, that is usually up to the teams to decide, but we think that a continuous training is always preferable, because at the end, what the ultimate goal is to change user behavior. So continuous training is what we recommend. What are the costs? Well, the costs, that is something that needs to be discussed with the reps. So, which questions should you be asking? Do you recognize that users is the weakest link in the defense? That is a typical question you can open with. How often do you train your employees? Or how do you measure whether employees are better at recognizing an attack? Where is the responsibility for phishing simulations and trainings? How does the process go from recognizing a potential phish by an employee to removing it from the user's inbox? Do they have a way to measure that, and how to monitor that and report on that? So why should you work with Proofpoint? Proofpoint is making 1 billion in turnover this year, and we aim to reach 2 billion in the next 4 years. We know that Proofpoint, we win in 9 out of 10 POCs, especially against Microsoft, Cisco, and Mimecast. We have a renewal rate that is about 95%. Proofpoint has a broad portfolio with many up and cross-sell opportunities. We have many different kinds of integrations. Some examples that might be recognizable here is CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, Okta, Zscaler, and so on. And remember, security awareness is hot. This market is growing 100% year over year. And many companies do it either halfway or with self-built solutions. This is a fully customizable platform, but everything is already predefined. You don't have to customize anything if you like. It's very easy to install, and the decision process for this is usually very fast. And so the time to value is quite short. And in this case, there is always a budget. And remember, in some cases, it's absolutely mandatory to have security awareness training in certain areas. In what flavors do we have this? There are two kinds of flavors basically. It's anti-phishing and it's enterprise. And there are some minor differences between them. So the anti-phishing suite teaches the end users to defend against phishing attacks. And it's a very comprehensive and effective library of anti-phishing training material in there. With the enterprise solution, you also have the cyber strength knowledge assessments where you actually test you can start to test your users to see, okay, where is the current understanding and knowledge level in the company today, to get an understanding of who should we start with to do the training and so on. And by that, I thank you for joining today's webinar and hope to see you again soon.